Associates. At loose ball is number 13, Jordan Thompson, sponsored by Cockerells. Interchanges for the Knights, number 14, Taylor Pemberton, sponsored by Slater's Quality Butchers. Number 15 is Jack Teamby, sponsored by The Food and Tavern. Number 19 is Sam Cook, sponsored by Chocolate Bear. Number 21, Colin Fitzsimmons, sponsored by Innovate Associates. Your 18th player for the Knights is number 28, Jack Potter, sponsored by York St John University. And don't forget, next Sunday...
Makes you shiver watching somebody carrying a pint.
We've got Halifax
Hey?
in the 18...
That's it, makes you shiver watching somebody carry.
Loss of network.
Watch ball, brilliant.
Quickly today, because this Toulouse side, they're a decent side. Endo, that's absolutely the case today, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the focus all week will be about starting fast, really coming out early and setting a tone early as well. Yeah, but again, we've got two teams coming off the back of disappointing results last week. Toulouse would have been fancied at home against Widnes and come home, obviously with a disappointing narrow 4-point loss. Obviously for our boys, as we know, it was a disappointing away loss there to Oldham. So both teams will be highly motivated to get back on the horse, so to speak, and get a not only performance but a result. But yeah, I think for our boys, for the Knights, it's got to be key that we get off to a good start.
Yeah, I mean, Toulouse largely unchanged, just that one change on the bench, and they're running a really skinny squad this season, aren't they, the French side?
Yeah.
When you look at it, it more or less picks itself, I would say. Just Dompe Roux missing after that injury last week in that game against Widnes. Mark Applegarth just coming out, Joe Brown alongside him. They're going to make their way across to the West Stand on the far side to see how this game starts. But the 4 changes for the Knights. Endo, we talked about Jesse D there at half-back. We talked about the Jude Ferreira making his debut in the centres. The other change in the forwards, Brendan Santee, somewhat surprisingly left out last week. You know him very well from your days when he played for you at Keighley and at the Knights as well. Yeah. And he'll make a difference today if he's on his A game, won't he?
Yeah, I think if he's in the right frame of mind, he'll add value, that's for sure. You know, what Brendan does bring is plenty of energy, plenty of enthusiasm. You know, he'll really get around his teammates. Yeah, he's not afraid to do the tough carries. He'll put his hand up. His work rate's phenomenal. So, he'll be looking to obviously lay a bit of a marker today and obviously prove the head coach wrong for leading him out last week. So he'll be determined. And he's just got to make sure he gets his ball security right today. Make sure he just carries hard and works hard off the ball like he normally does.
Yeah, we'll quickly run through the two sides just ahead of kick-off. We are going to have a minute's applause today in respect of the fans that we've lost during the close season. But those 4 changes for the Knights, if you've just joined us, it is Will Dagger at full-back. Kieran Buchanan, the Scottish international, moves onto the wing to make way for the young man on his debut, signed from Hunslet during the close season, Jude Ferreira. Ollie Field moves from second row as I battle the PA system. Ollie Field moves from the second row into the centres. Levi Edwards moves onto the wings. It is Jesse D that accompanies Ati Hingano in the halves. And the starting forwards, Jack Martin, the Australian, and Brendan Santee, the Italian international, either side of the vastly experienced Paul McShane. Jake Gannon and Connor Bailey are in the second row. Geordie Thompson is, I think, the skipper today, is the skipper, and he is going to be back in his familiar role at 13. Taylor Pemberton, Jack Teamby, Sam Cook and Connor Fitzsimmons are on the bench. Joe Brown missing out because of a hip injury. Liam Harris, of course, we knew that he wouldn't be there today because of the head protocol. And Harvey Reynolds and Miles Harrison are the other two who miss out. The PA just announcing the fact that we are having a minute's applause for the fans we lost during the close season. So we'll just try not to talk over that if we can before I give you the Toulouse Olympique side. And everybody just going to get to their feet as we remember those fans. And a couple of fans that I knew very well used to come and talk to me on match days, Dave Berry and Peter Lavelle, and very, very much miss those faces around on match day, but we certainly think about them. And there is that start of the minute's applause signalled by Scott Mikolauskas, his whistle. And that's a nice touch that the names are actually coming up on the board in front of us. Yeah, there we are. A minute's applause in respect of the fans we've lost. And I think most of the names that came up on the big screen over there were from the memory wall, which is a nice touch by the club. Quickly, that Toulouse Olympique side there, decked out in white today. Olias Olbot at full-back, Benjamin Laguerre and Paul Ulberg on the wings, Paul Marcon, Ruben Rennie in the centres, Anthony Marion and Jake Shorrocks in the halves, James Romanos, Callum Garn, Rob Butler, Mathieu Gicham, Maxime Stefani and Joe Cater, the starting forwards, Baptiste Rodriguez, Joe Bretherton, Greg Richards and Ellis Gillam are the players on the bench. The one that misses out from last week, Dompe Roux, with an injury. It's going to be Ollie Assolbot to get us underway. The former Widnes player puts his boot through the ball downfield, with the Knights playing from right to left as we look at it from the main stand. As I say, Toulouse in, I think, what's probably a change strip for them today. All white, the Knights, of course, in their familiar black and amber, as Paul McShane just pumps that ball into the hands of Jake Gannon. Jake Gannon brought to ground. Paul Marcon, one of those in at the tackle, and then Brendan Santee, his first carry of the game, restored to the lineup today former Australian schoolboy international, and of course played for Italy in the World Cup. Jodie Thompson, who always leads from the front, the skipper today in the absence of Liam Harris. You are listening to BBC Radio York, all our frequencies and online. Following the Knights all season long, home and away on the last. Signalled by referee Scott Mikolauskas. Ball goes back to Will Dagger. Dagger just having to readjust that ball and got caught in possession. And it's going to be the handover, and a little error there by Will Dagger. He just had to readjust that ball window.
Yeah, he did. He just didn't quite get a clean catch on the ball there, Andy, did he? And obviously it was great kick pressure coming from the Toulouse side from the inside, and he had to try and skip on the outside. He just didn't quite have enough to get around him and get his kick away. But, you know, early signs look promising there for Toulouse. It was a great defensive set from them. They did a really good job, what I noticed there, Andy, in that set of getting numbers into the tackle and holding the York players up and driving them back, making it really difficult for them to generate any ruck speed. But we'll see what they've got now in attack as I ask some questions of the York defence now early in this game.
Yeah, Joe Cater there just prompting them forward, the former Lee and Hull Kingston Rovers player. Didn't have a lot of games last season through injury. Anthony Marion, who's been with the Toulouse club for so many seasons. Always played at hooker in the past, but has filled in at half-back in the absence of Ryan Rivette, who's gone back to Australia. And here is Marion now with the carry, just drops the ball off into Cater. Cater straightens the line just inside the Knights' 20. Now the Knights going to pay for that little error on the last. Big tackle coming in there on James Romanus. They go left side. Player coming onto the ball at pace, but the Knights' defence is good enough. It's on the last. They were going on the power play there with Toulouse. Decent defence on that right side, where the Knights had so many problems last week against Oldham. That's a good sign early, Hendo.
Yeah, it certainly is. And you know, I thought Jack Martin did a great job there, cleaning up on the inside when Marion played back on the inside there. He made a great tackle, and then obviously Will Dagger was the man who stopped that final play as Toulouse looked for the power play on the last tackle to try and barge over, but Dagger did enough to stop the impetus of that Toulouse man going forward, and the Knights survive.
Yep, Knights now looking to clear their lines. It was initially Kieran Buchanan playing on the wing today, the Scottish international. Is Brendan Santi again. Drives hard into that. Greeted by the Toulouse defence. Then Jack Martin again. Your thoughts on Jack Martin as a player since he came to the Knights, Sendo?
Yeah, like I said, I've not seen loads of him prior, but I was very impressed with him a few weeks ago against Keighley. I thought he was outstanding in that fixture. Thought he did a solid job too against Hull Kingston Rovers a week later. So he's a young prospect, isn't he? I think 23, 24 years. Oh,
yeah, Tomo
yes.
Just Jodie Thompson. It was Paul Ulberg that tried to duck under the tackle, and
yep.
Jodie Thompson's trailing arm caught him. It's going to be a penalty to Toulouse after that kick downfield by Ata Hingano on the last for the Knights.
Yeah, they'll be disappointed there. Will Coach Applegarth see first set with the ball, fail to get away to a kick, and then that set there, they give away a penalty on play one, and it's just gifting Toulouse field position as Ruben Reddy now takes the tap and goes. Yeah,
the Knights with some defending to do again here. Rennie, the Cook Island international. Maxime Jusson there was just looking to prompt Toulouse forward. Callum Garn at hooker, into Cater again. Cater to Marion, swinging this ball onto the left side. Olias Olbot, Rennie out to Ulberg on the wing. The two Cook Island internationals out there on the left side.
Andy.
Anthony Marion took a late hit there, I think. Sorry, Endo, say again.
So it was great defence there. Will Dagger joining the end of the line there from fullback to stop that attacking play from Ulberg.
I saw Marion go down in back play and just wondered whether there'd been a late shot on him, but certainly nothing seen by referee Mikolauskas. There is Maxime Jusson, the French international. He disappears under the tackle, played a bit of rugby union for the Toulouse club. And Jake Shorrock's under pressure from Paul McShane. Well taken by Will Dagger down in that final 5 metres in front of his try line. 10 metres in from the touchline. Ball's been lost by the Knights.
Oh, that's
big
disappointing.
Error. Player went without the ball. Not sure whether it was Ollie Field, to be honest, but
yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. I don't know if
seemed to take his eye off the ball, Endo, but the Knights lucky to escape without Toulouse getting over for the try. It's going to be Toulouse ball from the 10. And once more, the Knights' defence being sorely tested here in this opening 10 minutes or so.
Certainly are, but again, architects really of their own downfall with that. It's another mistake coming out of their own backfield. I'm not sure whether it was the quality of the pass or whether the timing of the run or miscommunication, but they're now going to have to defend their own try line again, which they did ever so well last set. Let's see if they can manage the same again.
Yeah, Marion into Rennie. Rennie stopped immediately by the tackler Connor Bailey. Oh, left side, and then a terrible pass by Gahan into Anthony Marion. It was delivered round his bootlaces, and on a day like today, you wouldn't want to pass like that on a summer's day, but today when your fingers are a bit cold.
100%. No, it wasn't a great pass there from Gahan. Again, I mean, look, I'm not trying to make excuses for the players out there, but it does look like very much a swirling wind, quite a strong swirling wind out there. So, yeah, they may have to consider just tightening up their passes today in those conditions.
Yeah, there's a bit of anxiety about that one. They had more time than that, didn't they? I mean, you know, first play of the set, really, and he was trying to push the pass, and whether it just slipped away from his fingers, I don't know. But here's Holyfield trying to bring the ball out of defence for the Knights. McShane into Santi again. Santi working hard in the opening exchanges to promote the Knights downfield. McShane to Martin, the former Wynnum Seagulls player, brought to ground. Knights still in their own half of the field. Ngannou. Santi again. Quick off the defensive line at the moment, Toulouse. Johnny Thompson almost through a gap, just pokes his head through, and they managed to hang on to his coattails. I think it was Callum Garn that got the tackle in, and then Ngannou off that left boot just promotes the ball downfield. Paul Ulberg takes the kick in successfully with 3 pigeons in attendance.
Yes, absolutely. That was a trademark Geordie Thompson carry there. He saw there was space back on the inside shoulder of the defender, and he just come off that left foot and just got in between bodies and got his team a play the ball win, so Ngannou could kick on the front foot. Great carry there from Thompson.
Yep, Ulberg again, formerly with London Broncos, played for North's Devils in Australia. 27 appearances, 21 tries last season, so you can see that he certainly knows where the try line is. Toulouse over halfway, but on the last. Going to be a kick from Jake Shorrocks, under pressure. Jake Gannon putting him under pressure, swirling kick again. You wouldn't want to be a fullback in these conditions.
Not at all.
Good work from Will Dagger, took it in really, really comfortably as well.
Yeah, no, I don't envy being a fullback in these conditions. It's wet, it's windy. You know, tough conditions, but well done, Will Dagger. And it's a great carry that from Levi Edwards there, Andy.
Yep, yeah, it's good to see him back. I mean, the young man has been out for so long.
Yes, it
must have been tremendously frustrating, because it was like one injury, then another, wasn't it?
Well, that's it. He got injured during his rehab, yes. It was just unbelievable. So, but I'm glad he's back out there. He's such a talent.
Yep, almost coming up to 10 minutes gone. It is. York Knights 0, Toulouse Olympique 0. And Toulouse possibly just having the better of the early exchanges off of the back of a couple of Knights' errors, but the Knights able to come forward now. Ngannou puts the kick in. This one puts Assolbot under pressure. Well taken by the young man on his 10. Runs back in field to be greeted by stiff challenge from Brendan Santi. Will Dagger was also hunting that kick through.
That's great defence from Brendan Santi there. It looked like at one point there might have been some opportunity for Assolbot to exploit some space in the middle, but Sandy got down there on the kick chase, and then he backs it up with the marker tackle after that, and some great effort shown by Brendan Sandy.
Yali Assolbot, who quite injury prone. He's had a couple of really, really bad injuries in his time, both at Widnes and Toulouse, but now getting a decent run of form. Showed up well, possibly Toulouse's best player in that playoff final against Wakefield. Kick through from Shorrocks, which might drift out on the full. No, it doesn't. Bounces very, very close to the corner flag down there. Collected by Levi Edwards. Little hitch kick as he runs back in field and makes it to about 10 from his own line. It's coming forward once more. Kieran Buchanan in off his wing, doing some hard yards. Jude Ferreira, the young man on his debut for the Knights today. Will Dagger, nobody really wanted that ball. Will Dagger having to just take the tackle. It was Maxime Stefani with the tackle. Kick downfield, and Benjamin Leguer, the Toulouse right winger, retreats, takes the ball in and gets out to 40 from his own line. Oh, another high tackle from the Knights, and it's Jesse D this time that wraps Paul Marcon around the chin. And Anthony Marion just saying to referee Mikalauskas, that's not the first time today. Mikalauskas and the touch judge in conversation just down in front of us. And I think by the look of Scott Mikalauskas' body language, this is going to be a ticking off for Jesse D. I don't think it's going to be any more than that.
No, I think just penalty sufficient here, I think. It was just a bit of a lazy arm that went up there. There was no malice in it or intent. Or
Jody Thompson, the skipper, just listening in
You're
on the
right
conversation.
There,
we are,
right. That's
sensible refereeing from Scott Mikalauskas.
That's the right call.
Thoughts on the first 10 minutes?
Well, obviously, I think you said it before. You know, Toulouse have probably enjoyed the better of the field position and the opportunities, but you've got to credit the Knights for they're hanging in there. You know, probably the difference between the two teams is the Knights' discipline and errors have gifted Toulouse opportunity, but they've defended bravely, and they've slowly just got themselves sort of back into the contest there with a couple of back-to-back sets completed, kicks, but then unfortunately just give away that penalty now to give Toulouse an opportunity to apply some pressure.
Yeah, Andrew Henderson alongside me today in the summariser seat. Brilliant to have him with me. And it is Callum Garn, the Australian, up to play the ball. Ball coming onto the right side.
Great tackle.
Little switch play, and Brendan Santee picking out Callum Garn, bringing him to ground. Missed out last week, Brendan Santee, but restored to the lineup today. And has had a really good start to the game. Toulouse just on the Knights 20. Marion just offers the ball and then takes a massive hit from Jack Martin, completely legal as well. What an impact. And Anthony Marion, he's not sure whether it's Sunday, Monday or Tuesday at the moment as he gets to his feet. Jake Shorrocks puts the high hanging kick up. It's bounced out of Knights' possession. Toulouse may get over four.
Held up.
Force that down.
Great
Brilliant
defense.
piece of defence. What a fabulous piece of defending. Last one up, Will Dagger.
Yeah, fantastic
Dagger
defense.
and Ngannou in tandem, Endo.
Wow. What a passage of play there. We had the big shot on Marion from Jack Martin, which, as you said, was legal, fair play. And Toulouse get to last tackle. They put it up high. A couple of York players going in to try and take it. It bounces off the shoulder. I wasn't sure, couldn't see who it was. But then Rob Butler, I think, collects it. But what a wonderful try-saving tackle there from Will Dagger. Outstanding.
Absolutely. Romanos, just former Manly Sea Eagle, just running that ball in adjacent to the right-hand post. They come to the right side. Shorrocks, not too many numbers out there for Toulouse. And Marcon runs into tacklers. 5 or 6 metres to the right-hand post. They go left this time. Marion none the worse for that encounter with Jack Martin. He actually must have thought he'd run into an articulated truck. Here comes Joe Cater, deep ball, and that's all Bot, and another big tackle, and it was Ollie Field this time on Ollie Assall Bot, and he just gives him a bit of a pat on the head as he regained his feet there, Ollie Assall Bot, but that great tackle from Ollie Field that jogged the ball out. Good defence again from the Knights, Endo.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, edge defence, they look comfortable, both sides so far. I mean, Toulouse have had a fair bit of possession in challenging the York try line, but once again, the Knights stand firm, and so it was a good defensive decision there from Ollie Field. He decided to kill the play, and he makes the shot there on Assall Bot and forces the error. Edwards collects, and now the Knights will get a scrum 10 metres centre field from their own try line.
Yeah, Jesse D feeding the ball in. And I think it's Buchanan again off his wing, trying to move that ball forward. Scruffy will play the ball, but
good carry.
All okay in the eyes of referee Mikalauskas. Was a strong carry, Endo. Yeah, absolutely Connor right
Bailey
on the
there.
money.
Connor Bailey there, I think it was. Yep.
Yeah, player that flies under the radar a lot of the time, Endo. And Josson there just asking the referee if Jody Thompson had mishandled, and then to add insult to injury to the French side, they've been pinged for a penalty for offside. So the Knights, for the first time, really able to make a mark in Toulouse territory. They've got this penalty on the halfway. Will Dagger and Atingano discussing who's going to put this ball into touch. And it is the Tongan international. Ball hangs up in the wind, but just wondered whether it would make it to touch there, and nobody did. And here's Jake Gannon, one of the two Gannon brothers. Morgan, his brother. Is he still at Leeds, Endo, do you know?
Yes, he is.
Yeah. And of course, Jim Gannon.
Yeah, the father, Jim.
Yeah, Oldham,
Huddersfield.
Halifax, yeah, Huddersfield, yeah. Jody Thompson, Hingano on the right side, the attack this time. Will Dagger's over there as well. And then I think it was Jude Ferreira just trying to step back through tacklers, brought to ground on the 10. That's Hingano, tries to jink his way through. Cut down by the tackle of Callum Garn, amongst others. Romanos in there, and
offside again.
Pinged for offside again. 2 penalties in a row, Endo.
Probably take the 2, would you hear? And they might roll on.
A little discussion going on.
Just think it's that type of game today, isn't it? It's wet, it's greasy. I don't see a lot of points being scored in this game.
Nope. They're going to go for it, Endo.
They're backing themselves.
The back of Brendan Santi. Paul McShane, whether he made the call, he made the tap. They go right. Hingano on that side, ball's gone to ground. Ferrero just...
Play on, he said, off the foot.
Yeah, it did. Just came off his foot. Decent presence of mind by the young fella. Knights fans starting to get behind their side on the far end of the main stand as Jody Thompson tries to wend his way through. Still on the 10. Hingano again. McShane to D to Dagger in the line. Runs into the tackler, Paul Marcon. And has to go to ground. Knights still just hovering on the Toulouse 10-metre line. On the left side at the moment.
Good tackle there from Garhan.
Excellent tackle
Shot
from Garhan on Santi. Jesse D cuts out pass, delivered behind Levi Edwards. He's got some work to do now to avoid going into touch, and he can't avoid going into touch. He was off balance when he collected that ball, and Benjamin Laguerre, Toulouse winger, able to haul him over the touchline.
And both teams have stood firm, haven't they, on their try line?
They have. The defences have been on top in these early exchanges, and that's good from certainly from a Knights point of view. After last week, the defence was a bit like a colander last week at times. So Ruben Rennie tries to get Toulouse back towards halfway. Knights players swarming into the tackle at the moment. It is BBC Radio York. We have had 20 minutes here at the LNER, second week of the Rugby League Championship. Both teams looking for their first win. Jake Shorrock's drop-off ball into James Romanos, Lebanese international. Pretty sure he played in the World Cup for Lebanon, and then some sort of strange flick-on pass from Maxime Stefani. Almost tried to chest the ball on.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he was thinking there, Stefani. Like, I mean,
it was never going to go backwards, was it? It was impossible for it to go backwards.
I'm not sure what he was thinking there. I think the pass from Bott, obviously, it was quite a hard pass, but I think you're right. I think he tried to flick it on, didn't he? Try to tap it on to the guy outside him. I think maybe he felt there was a Knights player in his eye line, and he thought he could just flick it on, and it would create space on the outside. But it wasn't well executed at all. And Toulouse,
it was a manoeuvre more akin to the disco dance floor, I think, than a rugby league field.
Yeah. But either way, it's given the Knights another opportunity now.
It has. Holyfield, 32 out. Will Dagger into Jake Gannon. And Gannon again takes the ball up into contact. Josson, one of those in at the tackle. Romanos was the other one, and then Jack Martin takes over. on the Toulouse 20. Short side, Hingano, and
It's well read, that.
yeah, it was Ruben Rennie out of the defence and just jumped out of the line. You said he's prone to jumping out of the line, Endo, but he certainly did it to good effect there. McShane into D, and once more Toulouse players coming out of the line, picking their man and making sure they get there. It was Jake Shorrocks this time on Jesse D. Knights have lost a little bit of ground, but Hingano kicks to the right corner, high hanging ball. Paul Ulberg takes it in, being driven back over his own try line. Great work from the Knights, but just about manages to stay in play.
Unfortunately,
The Cook Islander, good work by Ulberg to stay in the field of play, and Toulouse take over possession.
yeah, it was a neat kick from Hingano, and the chase was there. Buchanan grabs Ulberg and a few other players in attendance, and I thought they were going to do enough to drive him into in goal to force a repeat set, but unfortunately they couldn't. And it's like you said, fantastic work from Ulberg to show great strength and perseverance to stay in the field at that moment in time.
Laguerre, player who came through the academy at Toulouse, and then Olias Olbot. Ball back to Shorrocks. Kicking from deep there, Toulouse.
That's a good defensive set from the Knights, forcing
was.
Shorrocks to kick inside his own 30. And the reward is that Buchanan gets tackled 35 off his own try line. So a couple of plays and they'll be in the good ball tackle field position as Brendan Sandy comes off the field now. Replaced by Connor Fitzsimmons, Andy. That's a good first shift there from Brendan Sandy.
Yeah, absolutely. Brendan Santi showed up really well in that first 20 minutes. And here comes the Buffalo. Connor Fitzsimmons, been in good form this season, been as good as any of the Knights forwards in the opening 2 games.
Oh, good shot there. Wow.
It was, you like that one, Endo?
Oh, good shot that was.
Romanos.
over the top on Gannon.
Yep.
Good contact.
Hingano trying to work a little bit of magic in the centre of the field. Still keeping this Toulouse defence honest. And he's taken a knock this time. Joe Cater with the challenge. I don't know whether Hingano looked at him there and said, good shot, mate, or what, or whether he was complaining that's going out on the full. That's a horrible kick from Will Dagger. This way, you said you were dead right about this swirling wind.
Yeah,
it's making kicking
really
very, very difficult.
Tough conditions, you know. I'd be probably more inclined to keep the trajectory of the kick lower in these conditions because, like you said, as we just saw on that occasion there, Daggers put it up high, but the wind has just carried it. Don't forget, it was great kick pressure from Rob Butler too.
It was, yeah, absolutely.
Which, you know, we've got to credit the effort from the front rower there from Toulouse. He puts Dagger under some pressure, which probably doesn't allow him to execute the kick as well as he'd like to, but we can also argue that the conditions have played a part in that too. So,
yep, Toulouse back in possession. 40 from their own line. James Romanos has just come off. Joe Bretherton has come on. Interesting character,
great
Joe
tackle
Bretherton,
there from the marker there, Geordie Thompson.
Yep, plays.
Love that.
Plays at prop these days, Joe Bretherton. He started on the wing in his days at Wigan. 17 appearances in Super League for Wigan, Joe Bretherton. Toulouse just over halfway, and this time it's Maxine Stefani who's felt the effect of a nice tackle. That's Hingano, I think it was, that made that one. Is Marion trying to prompt him forward. Looked as though there might be a hint of a forward pass in there to Ruben Rennie, but Toulouse have got away with it.
Entering the field, number 16, Joe Bretherton.
Drop-off pass into Cater.
James Romanos.
Still 0-0.
Yep.
25 minutes gone here at the LNER. BBC Radio York. Myself and Andrew Henderson describing the action for you today.
Oh, wonderful catch.
Good work from Will Dagger.
Wonderful catch, Will Dagger.
Under pressure again. Alive to what was going on, Will Dagger.
It's been a great contest so far, hasn't it, Andy?
It has. It's been a tussle, hasn't it?
And it really has.
Absolutely the word for it, a tussle. There's some big tackles going in, and it was Buchanan on the end of that one. Paul McShane dives out of the play. The ball, he's lost the ball. Came out, and a knock-on deemed by referee Mikolauskas. Sam Cook and Jack Teamby just warming up down in front of us.
I think he might be giving this against Toulouse, actually, I think. He's chatting to them, is he or not?
I thought he signalled knock-on initially.
Yeah, he did, but yeah, I know, let's give it to Toulouse, yeah. No, I thought when he sort of pointed at a Toulouse player as if to insinuate that you've knocked it out, if that makes sense, like a one-on-one knockout, but yeah. I read it wrong.
You never tell with referee
No.
signals, Endo.
I read it
It's a
wrong.
massive book, isn't it? That book that's labelled referee signals. It's at least 400 pages long.
If you say so, Andy. I don't think I've read that many pages. I don't know if I've read that many pages in your life. Anyway.
Here we go, left side. Anthony Marion with the basketball catch and then delivers another pass around the bootlaces, this time of Ollie Assolbot, tidied up by Paul Ulberg, and then Assolbot takes the tackle, but again...
Scrappy bit of play, that wasn't it?
It was, yeah, really scrappy. Callum Gahan not happy about the speed of the play. The ball allowed there from referee Mikolauskas. Joe Bretherton with the carry, who takes a stiff challenge again. Jody Thompson, the last one up. Marion to Assolbot. Great tackle
there, Hingano.
Encompassing bear hug of a tackle from Hingano.
Yeah, he read that play really well.
Marion again prompting away. Joe Cater working hard. Started at Hull Kingston Rovers, Joe Cater. Marion again, deep ball this time. Oh, that's just anywhere. And it was Paul Marcon having to do the tidying up.
Yeah, I think with Marion, he seems comfortable with the short pass or the drop-off play, but the longer balls, he's just not quite nailing, is he?
He's a hooker played half
Correct.
back.
So he might need to just rein it in a little bit. That's a 20 tap.
It is. Will Dagger reversing back behind his own try line.
Great transition.
And Knights with the 7 tackle set. Little drop-off pass from Jude Ferreira there. And it was a good job Levi Edwards was expecting it.
Oh, nice carry from Edwards. Like a pinball there, wasn't he? Just bouncing off the bumpers there and spins out and away. And
set restart as well.
No, he's made an error.
Yeah, and the referee had just signalled set restart for the Knights when Levi Edwards lost control of that ball.
It's disappointing there. It was like you said, I thought that the catch and transition from Will Dagger, get him on the front foot. Edwards reacted to it as well. Great carry, bumps and spins and evades some would-be tacklers from Toulouse and makes some extra metres and earns the team, because he was fighting to play the ball, earns a set restart, but in the process of getting up to play the ball, just loses control.
So Toulouse once more with field position. Conditions not helping out there. It must be greasy. There's sort of drizzly rain coming down in this swirling wind. Marcon trying to slip past Ollie Field. I was talking to Ollie Field before the game, telling me that it's been a hard week in training this week. A lot of analysis, a lot of defensive work done.
Yeah, it's certainly tough conditions. Some of the passing you can see, the ball's going sort of all over the shop, isn't it? Same when we're kicking. So for both teams, it's difficult conditions. And I think the shorter passes, a bit more change of angle is probably the way forward. You're going to have to play through the oppositions rather than around them.
Ollie Assolbot tries to go through a gap change for Toulouse, and it's Ellis Gillam coming on, I think making his debut for Toulouse today, if I'm right. Formerly with Whitehaven, late shot, Jack Martin. Will the Knights get away with that one? Yep, Jake Shorrock's sort of down on his haunches at the moment. Jack Martin making his presence felt again.
He certainly
Toulouse
is.
been told to play the ball. Cuts out pass, Bretherton back to Shorrock. Shorrock's lofting that ball towards Laguerre and Marcon. Marcon takes it in, but Holyfield was waiting for him and has him in his grips, and certainly not going to let go, the young man.
No, he just bided his time there, Phil, didn't he? He allowed Marcon to catch it, and then he just swamped him. These big gadget arms wrapped right around him, squeezed him in. And now it's Edwards to carry out a backfield, but he's met by some stern Toulouse defence there.
Holyfield brought in your time as coach, Hendo.
He was.
Been a good signing, and he came from Leeds Rhinos.
Yeah, promising prospect, and I think, made it quite clear we try to go down a bit of a youth policy, and he was a player we identified from the Leeds Rhinos, who we wasn't kind of getting much game time or opportunity there, and we thought if we can get him up and have a look at him and get him on board, then great, and we're very thankful that we could get that deal done. And like I said, he's got tremendous potential and a talented player, and like you said, he's really improved and grown, I think, in his time here at the York Knights.
Yeah, half an hour gone. York Knights 0, Toulouse Olympique 0. High kick there that was dying on the Toulouse defence, and in the end, Ollie Assolbot put his hand up and made sure he got to the ball, plucked it out of the air.
Well, I think at first, Andy, he wasn't looking to go for it. I think he thought his wingman was going for it, and then last minute he realised
Yeah, there was a bit of...
Lost possession. What's happened here?
There was certainly a bit of to me to you about it.
Oh,
with
it's your ball,
defence.
Andy.
Yeah, he's stolen the ball. Sam Cook.
1-on-1, yep. Beautiful.
Yeah, Sam Cook out in the action for the Knights. Just trying to see who is replaced. It's not Paul McShane, he's still there. So Sam Cook dummies and tries to
Jack
go
Martin.
past Toulouse players.
He's replaced Jack Martin, I think, there.
Yeah, strange if we've got Sam Cook playing at prop, but there you go. Utility value, Hendo.
Well, it'll be Thompson pushed the prop now and
yeah,
Cook to 13.
yeah, good call. And there is Johnny Thompson, tries to break through. Right in front of the sticks, within 5 metres. Paul McShane looks left, goes left to Jesse D, and again quickly out of the line. Chasson, ball goes to ground, tidied up by Paul McShane. Little bit of open field for Paul McShane. Ball comes out of his possession again, and this time it's been ripped out by possibly Paul Marcon.
Yep.
Yeah, last one up. So the Knights have another penalty.
Got to take the 2 now, I would, Andy.
We'll see. Yeah, I think you might be right. Will Dagger's just getting involved and possibly saying, let's take the 2.
Yeah.
Johnny Thompson's got his hands on his hips. He's not really saying anything. Yeah, Will Dagger.
Yeah.
He's already got the kicking tee in his hand, I think.
Yeah, that's smart.
Has he had that in his pocket, Endo? Seemed to get there quickly.
Yeah.
Jack Martin off. That's been a good stint by Jack Martin. You've really liked a couple of those tackles he's put in. Endo.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. No, he's been good. He's laid a good platform for the team, and like I said, still very young, 23 years of age.
Yep.
Got a bright future ahead of him.
Well, we're just coming up to the 33rd minute, and we might get the first points on the board down here at the LNER, and it is Will Dagger just to the left of the post. Left-footed kicker. Eyes the post at the south stand end, drills the ball through, and that rip by Paul Marcon has cost Toulouse 2 points in the form of Will Dagger's penalty. And the Knights lead 2 points to 0. We watched that game a couple of weeks ago, the opening Super League game between Wigan and Lee, where there were no points scored at all during the 80 minutes, but it was a fabulously entertaining game, and today's been much the same.
Yes.
We've just had the 2 points, Endo, but it's been intriguing to watch it unfold.
It certainly has, Andy. I think, you know, both teams have enjoyed spells of possession in each other's territory and asked questions of the defensive lines, but equally both defences have come out on top. You know, it's been tough. Oh, what a carry! Fitzsimmons!
The Buffalo has arrived again, and the Toulouse player just again.
Callum Garhan, I think
yeah,
it is.
it was. He bravely came forward in the face of the Buffalo rampaging forward, but he ended up thoroughly, well and truly on his backside.
Oh, the Buffalo, yes. It was just a stampede there, wasn't it? Poor Callum Garhan was on the receiving end of that stampede from the Buffalo. Wow.
He's got
his bumpers up and said, get out of my way, sit down, Callum Garhan.
Yeah, he's gone into hiding as Callum Garhan in the defensive line there, as far away from the action as he can. Just get his breath back, I think. Here come the Knights again. And Sam Cook. Sendo picked out playing at loose forward at the moment. Sam Cook. Taylor Pemberton, of course, would be the expected interchange hooker for Paul McShane, but McShane's still out there. The Knights lead 2-0. 6 minutes to the break here at the LNER. McShane with a kick. Trying to get in behind Benjamin Laguerre. Spooks one of the pigeons as he lifts off the turf. Laguerre collects the ball. Wends his way back in field and eventually collared by a combination of Sam Cook, Connor Bailey and Connor Fitzsimmons.
And that's the extra threat that you get from dummy half from Paul McShane, is he's got a long and a short kicking game, and it's just another thing that the Toulouse back three need to be aware of.
Andrew Henderson today in the summarisers seat alongside me, watching this game unfold, and fabulous analysis we are having the benefit of. Joe Bretherton trying to wrestle his way out of the tackle. Again, Cook and Fitzsimmons working hard in defence. Anthony Marion with the chip downfield. another French international out there today. Played for Albi in the French Elite League in the dim and distant past. Of course, Sam Cook came from the French Elite League at the end of last season.
He did. From Albi as well, wasn't it?
It was. One of Sparky Barlow, our sometime summariser, one of his former clubs as well. Currently enjoying a bit of a resurgence as well. Albi, them and Carcassonne at the moment vying for top spot in the French Elite League. Oh, one-handed pick up by McShane into Jesse D. Jesse D gets onto the ball at pace. Back to McShane, Ate Ngannou. Dancing around in centre field there, Connor Bailey. Good footwork from Connor Bailey, gets him up over halfway. It's on the last for the Knights. You're going to expect another high swirling kick from Ate Ngannou. Thought about running it, then gets the kick up. Ball puts the brakes on and drops into the hands of Laguerre. Good work by the young man, 22 years of age.
Yeah, you've got to say that both defences are on top at the moment, aren't they, Andy? I mean, we haven't seen really one clean line break.
No, it's been...
both teams are containing each other really, really well.
Yeah, Paul Ulberg dancing along the line, tries to turn left and go through the advancing Knights line, but collared by Jake Gannon, who seemed to have managed to get his hand stuck in there. I always hesitate to say things like this, Endo, but very, very sensibly refereed by Scott Mikolauskas at the moment. He's letting the game flow.
He is. It's another mistake from Toulouse.
Yep, Stefani again.
Just think got his line of run wrong there.
Yeah, it was Maxime Stefani, the former Saint-Gaudens player, who delivered the pass, but was it Rennie that spilt the ball?
I think it was Stefani that spilled it, I believe.
Yeah, he was trying to promote the ball onto that side, but...
it was Marion that made the pass, Stefani with the error, I think.
Yeah.
I just think he may have got his line of run wrong.
So, Knights back in possession. Error from Toulouse. Still 2-0 to the York Knights. Just that penalty from Will Dagger. Levi Edwards trying to get a little bit of pace on the left side of this Knights attack. Forced back by a combination of Marcon and Josson. And if you were thinking about going across to Toulouse for the game in August, I can tell you hot off the press that it's still not been decided whether it's Friday or Saturday. I spoke to the chief operating officer at Toulouse, Cedric Garcia, ahead of the game, and they still don't know whether it's going to be Friday or Saturday. Watch this space. Here's Ngannou. Ngannou, short ball into Connor Bailey. Took it to the line there, Ngannou. Delivered the pass into Connor Bailey, not able to slip through, but Knights back on the Toulouse 20. Be a good time to score. Endo right on half-time. Toulouse defended on the foot race. Ooh. Levi Edwards not able to get there. Little kick through from Paul McShane. Puts his hand up to apologise, but it wasn't a bad kick, Endo.
No, it wasn't in the end. I think originally Sam Cook had flattened up for a little grubber kick in behind from Ngannou, but he just slightly overran the play, so he would have been offside. So Ngannou elects to move the point of attack. Bit of a bounce pass collected from McShane, but he sees that the winger Laguerre is up in the end of the line, so sees there's an opportunity to put it in behind, which he does. And luckily for Laguerre, the ball just runs dead as Levi Edwards was herring down that left-hand touchline.
It certainly was. Baptiste Rodriguez now enters the fray for Toulouse. Comes in as interchange hooker in place of Callum Garn, who's probably still recovering from that belting he took from Connor Fitzsimmons about 5 minutes ago. Rodriguez in the scrum cap, played for the Toulouse side. That operates in the French Elite League. And another Toulouse player getting some attention at the moment.
Well, my understanding is here, if there's nothing wrong with him and he plays on, he should get a green card. That's my understanding.
I'm glad you understand that ruling, Endo, because I certainly don't.
Yeah, but that my understanding is if he so really what should happen now is another teammate should be offered to play the ball elsewhere while he receives treatment, or otherwise if he stays down like this, it should be a green card. But
are they treating him for a head knock? It's Joe Cater.
It
He's
doesn't
had
matter
all
whether it's
sorts.
a head knock or not. It's,
All right.
it's
All sorts of problems with injuries as Joe Cater over the
yeah,
last
bless him.
2 or 3
I really
seasons.
like him as a player too.
Yeah, me too.
You know, he'd done a
Just 2 appearances last season.
yeah. We done back-to-back Achilles issues, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
He recovered from his Achilles and then he snapped the other one or whatever, didn't he? Really unfortunate for the young fella. But it's good to see him back out on the field playing.
It is, yeah.
He's got some potential.
Rodriguez trying to add a bit of fizz and pop around the play. The ball there quickly out after the tackle on Ellis Gillum. And set restart.
Set restart.
Signalled by referee Michalauskas as the clock ticks into the final minute before half-time. It is still York Knights 2, Toulouse Olympique 0 here at the LNER. Second weekend of the championship season. Ellis Gillum on the cutback. Player who had served Whitehaven really well. 71 appearances in a Whitehaven shirt, Ellis Gillum. Tall, rangy player. Marion
Was he
again.
Whitehaven? I thought he was Barrow.
Yeah, Barrow as well. Yeah,
yeah.
Spent some time at Barrow. Is Rennie rampaging forward down the centre of the field and gets into the Knights 10. Great angled run from Ruben Rennie. I don't think the Knights have arrested his progress yet. What's the referee giving here? He's waving his arms about again, Scott Michalauskas.
Paul McShane staying down.
Yeah, I think he's
got
maybe
an
just
issue, has he?
held it up because of that. I'll tell you, that wind's getting stronger. Look at those posts.
I know,
You
it is, like I said, I called it at the start of the game. It's a swirling wind. It's tough conditions and it's wet. There's a bit of drizzle there, isn't it? It's greasy.
Up to Paul
I think,
McShane.
Paul
Taylor
McShane's
Pemberton had
been
his
very-
high vis off very quickly. He's put it back on again.
Yeah, he's been
Good lad.
smart play from McShane. He knew they're on the back foot there. He's okay.
Yeah, Ruben Rennie going to play the ball where he got to, about onto the Knights 10. They move the ball onto the right side. Chorrock, steep ball. Ollie Assolbot, the Knights defence. Well marshalled. And there is the hooter. That will be half-time down here at the LNER. It's been an absolutely enthralling first half. You haven't been able to take your eyes off it, but it's been all about defence, Hendo.
Yeah, it certainly has. Well, defences have been on top, but again, today is not the conditions where you're going to really be able to move the ball quickly or play around them. You know what I mean? It's going to have to be the more direct approach, change of angle. You know, it's not going to be a high-scoring game. I said that before the start. You know, it's just not the conditions for it. You know, you can see it with some of the passing. It's not quick, is it? It's slow from the ruck. You know, they're having to adjust their hands on the catch to make sure they keep control. So you're not going to be able to move it quickly or be able to really get around them. So I think you've seen a more of a pragmatic approach from both teams. I think both teams, if they're going to look to try and unlock each other's, maybe a little bit more change of angle. We'll play a little bit more back on the inside and try and test them there. I think you might get a little bit more joy. But again, I think both teams have been guilty at times throughout that first half of coming up with sort of back-to-back errors or penalties, which has given the opposition a bit of a spell of possession to knock on the door, so to speak. But then the opposition then have come up with a couple of errors and penalties, which then invite the other team in with a bit of a... So neither team, for me, has been able to get a consistent, sustained pressure on each other, if that makes sense. I think they've both been guilty of coming up with a few errors and a few penalties that have just relieved the pressure. But ultimately, defensively, I think have both looked very, very comfortable. Yeah,
and for the Knights, it's been the big men that have impressed. Jack Martin, Brendan Santee in that early stint, Connor Fitzsimmons, they've all shown up well, haven't they?
Yeah, they certainly have. I thought Santee showed a lot of energy to start with. Yeah, like I said, some great marker tackles, some kick pressures, inside pressures, that sort of thing. But Jack Martin accompanying him did the same. Yeah, I think they've been industrious of the forward packs for the guys. And then the guys coming off the bench, Fitzsimmons, Cook have added value as well. So yeah, the middle unit doing a solid job at the moment. Like I said, it's not much between both teams. They've not given each other much opportunity to penetrate them. You know, like I said, but I think the talk would be, let's just tidy up a little bit with our ball control. Let's tidy up a little bit with our discipline. You know, let's maybe look at a little bit of change of angle and maybe test them back on the inside a little bit. You know, or get a little bit more depth out the back, because as we know with Toulouse, they very much have a kill mentality on the edge, which if you're going to have that style of defence, you have to make those tackles. And obviously, fortunately for Toulouse, on the few occasions they have been tested on the edges, they've killed from 3, which is from Chorrock, so they've killed from Rennie, and they've made those tackles and made them stick. But if they don't, then they get in trouble on the outside, if that makes sense. So it could be an option there to have a little bit more depth out the back, invite them to kill, but get a little bit more depth so it gives you time to get that catch and pass released, if that makes sense. Or otherwise, let's change some angle and play back a little bit through them.
There you go. Fabulous insight into what we've seen in front of us in the first half. It is just 2 points to nil at half-time. That score on 33 minutes. There was a rip by Paul Marcon about 10 metres from the Toulouse line, and Will Dagger, left-footed, popped the 2 points through. That's how we stand at half-time. BBC Radio York, all our frequencies and online. Myself and Andrew Henderson will be back very, very shortly to describe the action of the second half. But we'll hand you back to James in the studio with the score. York Knights 2, Toulouse Olympique 0. Will Dagger just puts the ball on the kicking tee for the start of the second half. The Knights leading by 2 points to 0 in this championship game. Ball has promptly rolled off the kicking tee. Will Dagger, second time of asking, keeps that one low and under the wind, drills it down into the corner. Fielded by Anthony Marion, dropped the ball off to Joe Bretherton. We'll recap the teams at some handy point in the opening exchanges of this second half. But Will Dagger, that penalty on 33 minutes, the only score of the first half down here in what's been a tight and intriguing opening first 40 minutes. Is Ellis Gillum with the carry for Toulouse. Couple of interesting half-time scores elsewhere. I notice London Broncos 8-6 up on Featherstone, and Oldham, of course, victors over the Knights last week. They were all square against Batley at half-time. Toulouse just about up to halfway in the form of Ruben Rennie. Marion again prompting away as ever. That little familiar drop-off ball we saw so many times in the first half into Joe Cater. Cater takes the tackle on halfway. Connor Fitzsimmons and Sam Cook doing the tackling, and then Jake Shorrocks, once of Wigan a long time ago, and Newcastle puts the high kick.
Oh, good tackle.
Yep. Been seeing some really big impacts today. I think it was probably Ellis Gillum that delivered that one. Yeah. And then Jude Ferreira, he's not really had too much chance to shine in this first half. Not seen too much of the Knights in an offensive capacity. But I think you say that, Endo, we've not seen either team really.
Like I said, for me, it's the conditions, Andy. I think we've got to remember, it's when the conditions are the way they are, like it's very windy, it's been drizzling, so it's greasy, so everything just slows up. The passing slows up, and it just makes it really hard to go around teams. So there's a kick off the...
Yeah, Ngannou trying to put a little kick under the wind there, and it flicked off the top of a Toulouse player, a sort of inadvertent header, and Ngannou goes to the air with a little bit more underneath it this time. That one's a steepler, but well taken in by the Toulouse defence again. And remarkable in the conditions. We've not seen too many eyeballs spilled in this to now, Endo.
No, we haven't, no. I think all back three for both teams have been very good under the high ball this afternoon. It's been more that couple of those sort of passes that have been a little bit wayward, or just the handling just been a greasy ball just coming loose.
Good defensive pressure there from the Knights on the left side of the Toulouse attack. Getting off the line pretty quickly. One of the Valkyrie girls, in fact, heading for Las Vegas. Ebony Partington just away to our right. Their season starts shortly, and Toulouse have got the ball out wide, and they're going away down that right side.
And great cover from Thompson.
Back inside to Ollie Assall, but what a tackle, Jody Thompson, wasn't it, Endo?
Yep, I've seen him do that before. The cover tackle, Geordie Thompson, and he's absolutely smashed Ollie Assall ball as he takes the pass, and he's clutched at his ankle. You spoke about him being injury prone pre-game there, Andy, and
yeah,
he seems to be struggling a little bit there, doesn't he? But I mean, it was great hands from Toulouse. It was last tackle, so it was some great kick pressure on Shorrocks. Because of that, he's forced to make the pass play, but the winger was obviously deep, expecting the kick. That's what created the 3v2, and it was nice, slick hands, wasn't it, from Toulouse down that right edge. They put Laguerre away, and he finds Oshelbot back on the inside.
Showed a good turn of pace, the winger, didn't he? Down
he did.
That,
he done.
Tight to the touchline.
Yeah, he evades the cover from Ollie Field, and Ashelbot back on the inside, supporting. But that man, Geordie Thompson, the talisman, comes from nowhere and just smashes Ashelbot as he collects the ball and saves the day. So it'll be a turnover now.
What's he got to these days? 37, is he? 35, 37?
What's that, Geordie Thompson?
Yep.
He's not that old, mate. I think he's about 33, I'm saying, from memory.
I'm aging him, sorry.
Yeah, I think you're aging him, mate. You're being cruel there.
33 going on 18.
I won't tell him, no. You're all right.
Nice ball. Having repelled that latest Toulouse raid. I was going to give you the two teams to do that very, very quickly. The Knights
good defence here from Toulouse.
Changes. Yeah, driving
there's Forciera.
Knights player back, and the ball's been coughed up. And it's Jake Gannon that's lost the ball. Yeah. Great work defensively high up the field by Toulouse, and that'll have impressed coach Sylvain Hulez. And now Toulouse with a big chance, and I might hang fire about
that was,
giving you those two sides again.
That was a great response from Toulouse. So
Connor Fitzsimmons coming off with a slight limp there. It's Jack Teamby introduced to the action. To cries of Teambo coming from up the other end.
He's a fan's favourite. He's definitely a fan's favourite, is Teambo. But Jacob Gannon will be disappointed there. I mean, it was wonderful defence from Toulouse. Really front-loaded their energy there, got numbers in, drove him back and forced the error. He tried to plead his innocence that he thought it was a ball steal. But
19
anyway.
out, ball going left. Laguerre in off the wing with that carry. Ball shipped on to Ruben Rennie. Has he got lost? Laguerre is the right winger. Here's Marion. Marion into Ellis Gillam, centre field. Drives into just about into the 10. We've got a lot of lines on this pitch today. 12 out maybe. Here's Marion. Marion into Stefani. Stefani eyed a little gap there, but ran into a combination of Hingano and Bailey. 5 in from the left touchline. Ball floats into the possession of Anthony Marion, who's been at the hub of everything Toulouse have done. Then there's the offload, which was going absolutely nowhere until it was spotted by Rodriguez, the interchange hooker.
He's been lively, hasn't he, since coming on, Rodriguez?
Yep, yeah, he looks a busy player. It's Joe Cater into Shorrocks. They're moving the ball onto the right side, and then it's gone to ground. And Joe Bretherton wouldn't thank him for that pass.
No. Yeah, it wasn't the best of pass with Shorrocks, but once again, I'll make that point, and I said it at half-time, you know, I just don't think it's those conditions today to go wide and try and play the wide ball, the long ball, and go around teams. You know, you've got to keep it tight, change of angle, play through them. And I think Toulouse have been guilty. Their play the ball was about 20 metres in from the left-hand touchline. They've tried a big wide play to go and shift the point of attack, but the execution, the skill, just not on the money in these conditions.
Yeah, my apologies to Joe Bretherton. It was Ben Laguerre that spilled the ball. Those two sides, we'll have another go. 4 changes for the Knights. Will Dagger at full-back, Kieran Buchanan, Jude Ferreira, Ollie Field and Levi Edwards across the backs. Atingano and Jesse D, the halves. Jack Martin, Paul McShane, Brendan Santi, Jake Gannon, Connor Bailey, Jodie Thompson. The starting forwards, Taylor Pemberton, who we've not seen yet, Jack Teamby, Sam Cook and Connor Fitzsimmons off the bench. Quickly, the Toulouse side as the Knights move up to halfway. Ollie Ashall-Bott at fullback. Benjamin Laguerre, Paul Marcon, Ruben Rennie, Paul Ulberg across the backs. Jodie Thompson almost finds a gap. Anthony Marion, Jake Shorrocks at halfback. James Romanus, Callum Garn, Rob Butler, Matt Jussom, Maxime Stefani and Joe Cater, the starting forwards. Jesse D put in the kick in this time. It's a bit of a nothing kick, to be honest. It needed a little bit more height on it. And it's well fielded by Ben Laguerre, who showed up well in the early stages of this second half on the wing. Decent clearing run out of defence. And it's the other winger, Paul Ulberg, who paddles the ball up to about 32 from his own line. Baptiste Rodriguez, Joe Bretherton, Greg Richards and Ellis Gillam off the bench. All currently involved, apart from possibly Greg Richards, who I don't think we've seen yet, the former St Helens player. Great tackle from Paul McShane.
Great tackle, play on.
Yeah, the Knights back in possession. It was Anthony Marion, just wanted a little bit longer than necessary there, and Paul McShane was onto him and knocked that ball out of his possession. So the Knights are back in possession. You're listening to BBC Radio York, all our frequencies and online rugby league on a Sunday afternoon with the York Knights. It is York Knights 2, Toulouse 0, and Jack Teamby has come up with an error. And it's exactly as you somebody put at half time, and we've seen little change in the first 10 minutes of the second half. It's error on off the back of error.
I know, it's like neither team, they do some really good things. Like defensively, I think both teams have been great, you know, in terms of some of their decision making and their reads and some of the effort that they've put in defensively. But equally, you know, both teams have been guilty of lack of ball control and execution of skill, letting them down at crucial points. So neither team, for me, have really been able to get a sustained spell of pressure on either.
There haven't been any sustained pressure on either line, Endo. Joe Bretherton running the ball forward as Toulouse take over possession, 30 from their own line.
Good line speed from the Knights.
Yep, very quickly off the defensive line. That'll be something that will definitely have been spoken about many times this week, I suspect. Rodriguez into Cater, Cater to Gillam. Gillam punches the ball up to halfway. Atingano's trying to take his left arm off him as the floodlights come on. Rodriguez to Cater again. Cater more and more involved. Bretherton running an angle line. McShane has a hold of him. Toulouse appealing there was a head-high tackle. Waved away by referee Mikolauskas. Little reverse ball back inside to the fullback. Asol Bot engulfed by tacklers. Notable partner, Ollie Asol Bot. Georgia Stanway, the England ladies footballer. That kick was sort of left alone
offside
by various people, but Toulouse have been pinged for offside. Will Dagger left the ball and let it bounce, which was curious, but maybe he knew something we didn't, Endo.
Well, he obviously knew there was a number of chases in front of the kicker.
Yep.
Allowed the ball to bounce, and then obviously as a result, Rodriguez taps it back, but he's tapped it into a play that wasn't an offside position, so that's why the penalty's been awarded.
Yep, Will Dagger.
Ooh, that was
a real flapper of a kick there from Will Dagger, but it made it over the touchline. Jude Ferreira runs the ball in the 29 shirt for the Knights. And this game with few points continues to look for an opening, a break from somewhere. Something that's got a little bit of magic that might open up the opposing defence. Jesse D just probing away, trying out that right side Toulouse defence.
I think again is both teams. Neither team has really enjoyed much ruck speed either, have they? You know,
nope.
I think defensively the tackle control's been good for both teams. As again a loose pass.
Yeah, it was Atingano's deep pass. It floated past Jude Ferreira, and the man doing the tidying up was Kieran Buchanan. The Knights are still in possession. Connor Bailey takes over and just goes hard and direct, but it is on the last for the Knights, and they're 40 from the Toulouse line, and once more Atingano goes to the air, once more testing the defender, and once more Benjamin Laguerre does a great job of taking the ball in, but the Knights' chase was fabulous.
It certainly was, Andy, it certainly was.
Levi Edwards.
And Jacob Gannon there.
Yep. Those three in attendance. And they drag Laguerre back over his own try line. And that little bit of pressure might just be coming here, and as Toulouse have to drop out from under their own sticks.
Well, I was just about to say, that could be a game breaker. It really could be. That piece of play, that kick and kick chase, could be a game breaker. We'll see.
Asol Bot, ball tumbling end over end. Take by Will Dagger, he's first off the rank and gets there, takes the ball in. Knights just inside the Toulouse 20. Adjacent to the left-hand post, short ball, Jack Teamby. Tries to batter his way forward from a standing start. Tries to break down the front door. Thompson, D, reverse ball, Gannon. Gannon tries to step past, still going Gannon, just short. Eventually stopped by Asol Bot with a colleague. Teamby tries to burrow under, can't get over.
Good defence, but once again, that's the first time we've seen a bit of change of angle, and Gannon almost goes over.
Thompson, deeper ball this time. Atingano puts the kick in behind the Toulouse defence. He's got too much on it.
Yeah.
And once more, that pressure is released as Atingano, he just tried to dribble the ball in. Again, he was under pressure from a Toulouse defender. And that probably just interfered with his judgment of that little grubber kick, Endo.
Yeah.
Still 2-0, 27 to go. That one penalty, no tries at all in the game as yet. Ruben Rennie played for, there's lots of NRL clubs out there in Australia, but I always think of Newtown Jets has been such a famous club that are not involved in the NRL out in Australia. Fabulous club, Newtown Jets. And that was one of Ruben Rennie's former clubs. Shorrock's in the line, fires the ball to Rennie, pings off his left hand as he stretches a hand out, and Jude Ferreira, Atingano and Kieran Buchanan just exchange congratulations as they've repelled that latest French foray forward.
Yeah, and once again, trying to go wide and just not quite getting that execution of skill right. On that occasion, I think Shorrocks was trying to find Alberg with a long pass, and Rennie just got caught two minds.
Too tempting,
is it my ball? Is it not my ball? It puts out the one hand and forces the error. And again,
it was like the dieter and the box of chocolates there, Endo, was Ruben Rennie. He couldn't resist.
I like that. Great analogy. Oh, brilliant. Some of your best there, Andy. Great stuff. But anyway, the Knights now on attack. Jacob Gannon over the halfway line now, Andy.
Yep, the Knights trying to get a roll on with Jack Martin back out there in the action. Here comes Geordie Thompson, manful as ever, driving his side forward. Ngannou looking for a gap, finds a little gap, still drifting, gets the pass in. Kieran Buchanan having to step back inside. Little appeal for obstruction there. And the Knights take the tackle. Ferreira, Ngannou again, laterally along the line, hooks up with half-back partner Jesse D, and it was Joe Bretherton all over Will Dagger as he joined the line. Knights once more trying to apply some pressure, but they've had to go to the air with the kick of Ngannou. And knocked on by Paul Ulberg.
I'm not sure he knocked that on, to be fair. I thought
I thought he took it successfully.
Yeah, I thought he took it, yeah.
We'll just see what referee Scott Mikalauskas makes of this. He's consulted his touch judge. The upshot, or what we initially saw, Endo and I thought Paul Ulberg had taken the ball in successfully, but there was a big cheer from the Knights fans who were much closer than us, yeah. Than us down the
he definitely sort of loses control of the ball on the way down, but just from here it looked like he'd regathered it and managed to just clamp it in just before he hit the ground. But obviously the referee's in a better position, so are some of those Knight fans, as you mentioned there, Andy. So he's clearly dropped the ball, and this is a brilliant opportunity now for the Knights.
Ngannou, they've utilised Jesse D. Edwards flying
on
the corner!
Yeah,
Levi Edwards is into the left corner! The former Leeds Rhinos youngster just uses his pace. He eyed the gap. It was a lovely little bit of work at the back of the scrum from Jesse D. Got the ball to Ati Ngannou. He knew that Levi Edwards was hugging that left touchline and floated the pass. And from that point there, the young man pinned his ears back in, flew for that left corner and sailed in for the first try of the game. The Knights lead 6-0. Endo, your thoughts on the try?
Yeah, lovely try. Set piece move from the scrum there. Centre field. Ball's fed. Pick up out the back. Ball goes to Jesse D. Out the back to Ngannou. And then he finds a pass over the top there to Edwards, who's unmarked. And Laguerre just didn't have enough time whilst that ball was in the air to turn and cover the space. Edwards' timing was outstanding. He collects it on the run, and he's able to have enough pace to finish in that corner and extend the York lead to 6-0 with a kick to come. Beautiful, beautiful execution of play there from the scrum from the Knights.
Yeah, absolutely. Jesse D, heavily involved. He took the ball out the back of the scrum, little exchange of passes. And Ngannou had the awareness to put that pass into Levi Edwards. Difficult kick for Will Dagger, but the Knights lead 6-0, and we have had 18 minutes of the second half. We talked about that first 20 in the first half, and Toulouse, we said, had the better of exchanges. I don't think there's any doubt this first 20 of the second half, the Knights have been the better side, Endo.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. They've certainly enjoyed a bit more of the possession and the opportunity. But again, I still think neither team has really got on top, if that makes sense. You know, I think both teams have still continued that trend in the second half of, you know, coming up with too many errors or penalties at key moments to keep each other in the contest, so to speak.
Dagger's kick in the air. I'd be fairly certain that's going to drift across the front of the posts, and it does. So it remains 6 points to nil. The big man Akumatai down here with the water bottles just down in front of us, in conversation with Brendan Santi. Santi waiting for his second spell of the game, having a chat to Connor Bailey. A couple of people I wanted to give a shout out for today, who I'm hoping will be listening in. long-time Knights supporter, Kev Dent. Kevin's in hospital at the moment, waiting for an operation. We wish him all the best, and hope you are listening in today, Kev. And Helen Calpin as well. Helen, another long-time restart kick's gone out on the full. So back to halfway, and that's a mistake from Ollie Assolbot with that restart kick. Yeah, Helen Calpin, who Helen and husband Steve, regular Knights watchers here at the LNER, and Helen's not been too well. I understand she's back at home now, so I hope things are going well. All the very best from all at BBC Radio York. So Will Dagger puts the penalty into touch. The Knights, another chance just to apply some pressure to this Toulouse line. Jude Ferreira.
This is a big set, Andy, isn't it? It's a big set for Toulouse defensively here, because I think if York score here, it will break their spirit.
Jack Martin, Joe Bretherton wrapped around his ankles, just about swung him to the ground with a bit of help. Jordy Thompson again. Drives hard into Toulouse. Front line defence in centre field. Max Shane goes left. Jesse D changes his mind. Just reconstitutes that ball into Jack Martin. Recycles it. Jack Martin takes the tackle to the left of the sticks. Paul McShane going right. Sam Cook dummies, tries to go through, but the Toulouse defence good enough. It's on the last. Jody Thompson puts a little kick in.
Oh, that's a great pick up.
It was.
Oh, he's lost it.
Oh, yeah. Ollie Assolbot picked the ball up, then lost the ball, but the Knights have been pinged for a penalty.
Oh.
Endo, would you have had a temptation to go for the one?
Yeah, it's good. You've just took the thoughts out of my mind. It's certainly something I would have considered there.
Yeah. With it as tight as it is.
I agree. Oh, that's just a scruffy kick, isn't it, from Shorrock?
Yeah, another one. Yeah, that wind's playing havoc with the kicking.
It is. But, geez, what an interesting bit of play there. McShane tries to put the little grubber kick in behind the line. One of his pet plays. He's done it for a number of years in the Super League. But Assolbot traps it, dives on it, and then I think it's deemed that McShane stole the ball from his grasp, and that's why Toulouse got the penalty.
Yeah, it was hands like flypaper from Ollie Assolbot, because that
he
ball
done well,
was
didn't he?
delivered at him from about a foot away. Joe Cater about to come back into the action for Toulouse Olympique as they try to overturn this night's 6-0 lead. Joe Bretherton working hard. I still love the thing. Joe Bretherton's parents used to fly out every weekend to go and watch him in Toulouse at one time when he was first started over there.
Wow.
Joe Cater into Shorrock's ball into Maxime Jussom. Almost breaking away. Connor Bailey just about had hold of him. It's on the last for Toulouse. They need a repeat set here to the French side. Can the Knights repel this one? Shorrock's high-hanging kick drifts back towards Toulouse players. Caught by Paul Marcon, but ball lost, and Will Dagger is the man who tidies up for the York Knights.
Yeah. Once again, that high kick, it's almost been blown back, isn't it? Into that wind.
It is, yeah, just hanging up in the wind. Knights safely back in possession, though. Kieran Buchanan in off his wing, former Batley player. His former side were all square at half-time against Oldham. Will Dagger with some heavy strapping to that right leg. Still 6-0. You're listening to BBC Radio York. Myself and Andrew Henderson describing the action in the second weekend of the Rugby League Championship. The Knights in 1895 Cup action next week down here at the LNER again against Halifax Panthers. Now under the direction of Kyle Eastman, the former St Helens player and rugby union player of note. Hanging kick from Hingano again, aimed towards Ulberg, who his error created the opportunity for the only try of the game for the Knights about 5 minutes ago. Knights quickly off the line at Ruben Rennie.
Yeah. No, and it's a great kick from Hingano, great kick chase, and this is where you want a team, don't you? No, that's a coach killer. That is a coach killer, Andy.
Big pressure release. Knights caught offside. I was just gonna, it was on the tip of my tongue, Endo, to say the Knights don't want to get offside at this play the ball, and they duly did.
Oh, because it was a wonderful kick, great kick chase. They have a metre off the line, great line speed play 2, and then play 3, they're deemed to be offside. It's frustrating.
Talk about the conditions, Endo. How many times has Anthony Marion picked the ball out the air above his head today? He must feel as though he's playing basketball today.
Yeah. No, like I said, I couldn't imagine what it's like out there. It's tough conditions. And I remember saying at the start of the game tonight, you just have to keep the passes a bit tighter, a bit shorter.
Yep.
And like I said, change a bit of angle as well, because it's just too hard to play.
Marion to Assolbot. Hingano manages just about to rake him in, but then there's
look out!
Assolbot and Hingano.
It's getting a bit tasty there.
Yeah. Hingano just smiling, but number of players, Ruben Rennie involved as well.
Yeah. There's no punches, right? Just a hug-a-thon there. Yeah. Plenty of people just coming in and hugging each other.
Will Dagger and
hugging
Ruben
each other
Rennie
aggressively, but you know, it's just you don't see punches thrown these days. But yeah, it's the right call from the referee. It was just it just slipped up there from Hingano, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I mean, defensively, I thought they were systematically sound there with York on that right edge. It was man on man, and unfortunately for Hingano, it just slipped up a little bit, and it's gone around the head. So it is a penalty. So
Knights with some pressure to resist here. Yep. It's going to be a restart on the Knights 20. Ruben Rennie taps the ball, goes to Maxime Stefani, the French international. He's to the ground. That's Hingano in at the tackle. Another ball on the pitch, duly tidied up by the touch judge. So here we go again. Knights with some defending to do. They lead 6-0 at the moment with 15 minutes to go here at the LNER. Important game. Both teams looking for their first win of the season. Baptiste Rodriguez, the interchange hooker, goes to Shorrock. Shorrock's short ball, and Romanos almost driving through the gap onto the 10. They go down the right side. Shorrock's trying to slip the ball in, and the Knights defending out there, trying to haul the Toulouse player into touch on the very far side in front of the West Stand. It was Paul Marcon, I think, that was being dragged around. Toulouse still trying to drive through. Here's Marion, left side of the attack. Reverse ball into Rennie, bumps off Sam Cook.
Good tackle.
But couldn't bump off the second Knights player, and then the tackle, which may well have been Connor Bailey. But good defence again from the York Knights.
Yeah, it was.
To kick Toulouse out.
Sam Cook on that occasion, he done his job. He tied in on the inside there, didn't clock off. And he was able to get his body in front and stop that powerful ball runner in Ruben Rennie. Oh, no!
Knights have dropped the ball right in front of their own post. Just miss it. Again, Endo, I was just going to say, now it's about game management, and there was absolutely... there was nothing game management-wise about that. That was just headless chickenry, really.
Oh, it's just an unforced error, Andy, you know. We've seen it. Both teams have been guilty today of it. You know, it's not just our team, it's Toulouse as well. Have come up with a couple of unforced errors, and
Will Dagger.
Frustrating.
Will Dagger it was that spilled the ball. There was a little conversation going on between him and Hingano, but the Knights have got some defending to do now. Shorrock's on the right side, ball tipped on, out wide, Laguerre in for the try. Oh, did he get that ball down? Did he get that ball down? Referee Mikalauskas has given the try, but I wasn't sure he got that ball down, Endo. It was Ben Laguerre coming back on the angle. He got the ball down, but did he ground it properly?
Well, like I said, from our viewpoint, it looked like the ball did spill out, but again, all it has to do is get pressure on the ball, on the ground. So it may have hit the ground and then bounced out. We've seen that happen before. It's really too hard for us to call from this viewpoint, isn't it, Andy?
Yep.
And obviously, a lot of the supporters from the York Knights are aggrieved with the decision, but the referee was in a better position than us, and he's ruled it was a try. But again, it's come off the back of an unforced error from the Knights. It's given Toulouse the opportunity. They put a scrum play on there. It was nice hands from Assolbot there to Laguerre, and he just comes back off the right foot. Simple play, lead line, out the back bot. Tips on there to Laguerre. He comes off his right foot there and beats the cover defence. It was in slide mode, all back on the inside, and he dives over probably about I'd say 15 in from the right-hand touchline. So it's, I think in these conditions, still a difficult kick for Jake Shorrocks. He is an accomplished goal kicker, Andy, but like you said, with this wind, who knows what can happen.
178 points last season. Jake Shorrocks in a Toulouse shirt, in the 7 shirt at the moment, and about 15 in from the far touchline. And it's through, and we're all square.
Successful conversion.
And now you sort of scratch your head and wonder about that drop goal, that 1-pointer we talked about, Endo.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
effectively about 10.5 minutes to go. Once this game gets back underway, Will Dagger calls for the kicking tee. BBC Radio York, all our frequencies and online. If you do want to get in touch, you can tweet us at BBC York Sport. Text us, start your message with the word York, 81333, or you can WhatsApp us, 08000 321 333. Again, you have to start your message with the word York. Be good if you got in touch. And here's Will Dagger to restart. All square, 6 apiece. 2 tries in this second half, and then Antti-Marion knocks on, and it's gone backwards, and once more, referee Mikalauskas has upset the Knights fans. I've seen plenty of those giving us a knock on, Endo. But Antti-Marion, it was a low kick that jumped off the turf at Antti-Marion, and it came back off him. The referee, Scott Mikalauskas, has determined that it was... The ball went backwards. Here's Joe Cater in the 15 shirt for Toulouse. They've escaped a bullet there, I think, Endo. Antti-Marion, the skipper.
I agree. It was a great kick-off from Will Dagger, low and hard.
That was all the asshole bot there looking for 40-20, but never got the angle, and then Will Dagger drives that ball back in, and the way he came back into the French advancing line there reminded me of that run back in against Swinton that changed the game that day in the middle of last season. Levi Edwards, fans behind me getting a little bit animated, because they're convinced the French advancing line are offside. We'll keep an eye on it this time, Endo, see what we think.
Well, I think they're all onside on that occasion. Maybe the last 2 they may not have been. I wasn't keeping an eye on it, but...
Yeah, Connor Bailey tries to get back towards halfway. York Knights 6, Toulouse Olympique 6. Ata Ingano, Maxime Stefani sort of piggybacks him to the floor. McShane, Dagger. That's another strange kick from Will Dagger that swirled about all over the place. Eventually collared by the try scorer Benjamin Laguerre out there. Will Dagger down in back play at the moment, picks himself up, dusts himself down.
It's great line speed there from the Knights.
On Joe Bretherton this time, the
Paul
former
McShane
Wigan player.
And Jesse D.
Knights trying to pin Toulouse back deep in their own half and apply some pressure with 8 minutes to go.
Yeah, there's plenty of time in this game. Just that's the key now. You've got to be patient. You know, don't need to be looking for the big play or manufacture something. Stick with that process, and then the opportunity will hopefully come. And when it does, you've got to be clinical and take it.
Andrew Henderson alongside me in the summariser seat today. Brilliant to have him just picking this game apart as it unfolds. High kick again, allowed to bounce. Collected by young Jude Ferreira. And the Knights safely back in possession, 32 from their own line. York Knights 6, Toulouse Olympique 6.
Good shot.
Big old shot there from Baptiste Rodriguez, the interchange hooker. Here's Brendan Santi back out there. Didn't make too much progress this time, Santi. Rodriguez again with the tackle. Looks handy player. Player I've not seen before. Ingano possibly just trying to get it through the Toulouse line, but there were just too many defenders in attendance. Then the angle kick from Paul McShane, good chase. Santi just about gets the tackle. Great work from Brendan Santi for the Knights in tandem with Paul McShane.
Yep. That's smart play, it's patient play. It's patient play, Andy. It's just, he saw space, put the kick in behind. Now Toulouse have got to go, 80 metres. That's already play 3 now. Just keep them down there and you win that field position battle.
Yep, absolutely. 7 minutes to go. Ruben Rennie this time. Want to try and get Toulouse back towards halfway. And then Rodriguez
I've been impressed with him today, Rodriguez.
Yeah, he's been good. My first look at him, as I say, he's been in the Elite League with Toulouse's sort of second string, you would say. High kick from Shorrocks. Will Dagger takes it in, just outside the 20, runs the ball in hard. And the Knights will start the set from 34 from their own line. Levi Edwards looking for a bit of space. He can apply his pace. And 6 minutes left on the clock. Jody Thompson gets the Knights up over halfway, being spurred on by the fans up the end of the main stand. Absolutely enthralling watching this game unfold, the tight nature of it.
It's been gripping, hasn't it?
Certainly has. Is Jody Thompson again, goes to Ngannou this time. Once more, Ngannou's no-look pass.
Knock on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good Ferreira. Yeah, it certainly was. And it's going to be Toulouse ball. And these little errors that keep creeping into any bit of effective play from both sides.
I was going to say, both teams have been guilty of it. You know, and it probably makes you think if one team had been a bit more superior with their ball control and their discipline, they're probably a little bit more in a comfortable position, Andy, you know, but it's still made for a gripping contest, hasn't it? You know, it really has, and we still don't know what the outcome of this game is going to be.
Yeah, feel for young Taylor Pemberton down here, still hoping to get an introduction into this game after 2 games as 18th man, but it doesn't look as though it's going to happen. Maxime Jasson swamped again by Knights tacklers in his own half of the field. Jordy Thompson leading from the front. Brendan Santee alongside him for the Knights. Here's Joe Cater trying to find a gap in this Knights defence. Not able to do so. The drum rattling away. Trying to get the Knights over the line. It's 6 apiece at the moment. Late hit possibly by Jack Martin on Joe Cater, and now Jack Martin's on his back, and it's a penalty to Toulouse.
Well, we're not sure. I don't think he's ruled anything at the moment, Scott Mikulowski, so I don't think
he certainly whistled and pointed in the direction of Toulouse, end out.
I didn't see that. I missed that.
We'll see. And it would be first offence. It did look like a late hit on Jack Martin. There was a bit of 2 and 8 afterwards, and Jack Martin landed on his backside, but...
Yeah, well, it was on Joe Cater, wasn't it? Joe Cater was playing the pass.
Joe Cater,
And, I mean, Jack Martin, he's obviously had an assignment this afternoon, hasn't he, to go and put on that inside pressure, and he's flirted with it, and he's been good for most of the game. He's been legal, but I don't know what's happening here. If he's going to be awarded a... Yeah, he is. Yeah. He's obviously deemed
penalty to Toulouse.
Deemed to be too late on that occasion.
Or the late tackle by Jack Martin.
Well, it'll be interesting now to see what Toulouse will do now.
And Jack Martin being pulled out. Scott Mikulowski's going to have a word with him, and again, I think it might just be a ticking off and saying, that's the last from you. Jake Shorrock's going to be brave enough to kick for goal from there.
No, not from there. No. I'm just saying they'll be looking to set up for a 1-pointer, won't they? So they'll kick long, and then they'll try and set up for a drop goal.
I hardly dare mention this, but on the forecasts before the game, I had this down as a draw. And
did you really?
Yeah. But I'm beginning to wonder.
Oh wow.
So,
but that's not out of the question either, is it? If it goes to golden point and after 10 minutes it's 0-0, like that's not out of the question. And you know what? Based on today, it's probably a fair result.
Yeah, true enough. So here come Toulouse. They are within 25. Rodriguez left side, Marion Rennie goes back towards the sticks, and you're right, they're setting up for Jake Shorrocks here, or Elias Olbot. They're both there. Here's Shorrocks, goes for the drop goal, drills it, misses.
Wide.
Misses.
Great pressure, Jordy Thompson.
It was Jake Shorrocks with 3 minutes to go.
Yeah.
Missed the drop goal. He caught it well, but you could tell Jake Shorrock's reaction immediately.
Yep.
Was that it was missing. The Knights need to look after this ball.
Yep, got to credit the kick pressure though. Jordy Thompson leading that, getting in front of Shorrocks.
Any error here could be fatal. It is. York Knights 6, Toulouse Olympique 6, 3 minutes 20 on the clock. Knights in possession. 32 from their own line. Paul McShane to Brendan Santee, and again it looks a skinny line, you have to say. And then every time Hendo and I look, it looks like
I know,
it 10 metres.
Yeah, it does. We're not looking at it, and then the next play, it does look like they're onside. So
I can hear the Toulouse forwards whispering to one another, Hendo's not looking, quick. So, right, still in possession, still in their own half. Ngannou to Martin. Martin trying to batter his way past Rodriguez. It looks as though one of the French players has got his shorts as a souvenir at the moment.
Yep.
So McShane right on halfway to Ngannou. Ngannou, drop-off ball.
Great
to
tackle,
Santee.
Rodriguez.
Santee goes nowhere. And Rodriguez again makes the tackle. Ngannou still going on the last, drops the ball, tries to get a foot on it to kick it.
Still the last.
Oh, it's just so frightened of an error here, but Hank Dagger's found a fabulous kick.
Yeah.
He managed, you've got to, first of all, you've got to highlight Ngannou's perseverance, because he took the tackle, couldn't get the kick in, and then somehow managed to fashion the ball back into his possession to get it to Dagger.
Yeah.
And Dagger found a wonderful kick, really, from where they were. Hendo.
Oh, absolutely, relieves the pressure, that's for sure.
Yes.
Because I thought actually that was a really good defensive set from Toulouse. To say they had a 7-tackle set and they basically contained them to really 30 metres, it was a great defensive set from Toulouse. But you know, Ngannou tries a trick kick, which didn't quite come off, but he somehow managed to get out of the clutch of the Toulouse players, picks it up, finds Dagger, and now it's Toulouse that are going to have to come out from their own line.
Yeah, Knights will hunt the error here, but they must stay onside. Absolutely vital they don't piggyback Toulouse downfield. Great work from Laguerre in centre field there to get a few metres that might be all important. Here comes Keita. Keita to Marion. Marion. Maul chipped on to Paul Ulberg. Ulberg tries to go round Kieran Buchanan, but the Scottish international has him just short of halfway. Marion again. Into Rob Butler. Rob Butler. Big impact between him and Jack Martin, but Martin wasn't letting go. It's on the last. Chorrocks. Little kick down the middle. Olias Olbot chasing it. Kicks on again. Levi Edwards, I think, has missed out the ball. And with 44 seconds left, that mishandle from Olias Olbot's little grubber kick through is going to give Toulouse another opportunity here. The dying seconds of the game, it was Levi Edwards. Cold hands, couldn't pick the ball up. It was clever work from Olias Olbot, and it may just give Toulouse the opportunity. They've 2 drop goal candidates here. In Olbot, who's almost directly behind the scrum. Jake Chorrocks is away to the right.
Surely they've got to go for the drop goal now.
Yeah, Marion won't be involved. This ball's going to come out. It goes from Stefani into Chorrocks. And obviously, Joe Bretherton comes back towards the post. They are on the 20-metre line. Baptiste Rodriguez goes short. Goes to Romanos. Romanos rumbles the ball forward. 16 seconds to go. 6 apiece. Here it goes, it's going to Chorrocks, gets the drop goal away, and a score! And right on the hooter, Toulouse have won the game by 7 points to 6. Jake Chorrocks it was, and that little error from Levi Edwards has cost the Knights the game, as that mishandle created the opportunity for Toulouse. And it was Jake Chorrocks that potted the drop goal to win the game right on the hooter. Hendo, heartbreaking for the Knights.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, tough one to take that one there, Andy. I thought much improved defensive performance from the Knights today. You know, I thought, like you said, it was a real battle. You know, a really great contest. Let's take nothing away from the game. Yeah, it was a good contest. Was it scrappy? Yes. You know, there was a few errors in there, a little bit of ill discipline from both teams. It probably kept both teams in the contest, so to speak. But I thought some of the defensive work from both teams was excellent. You know, some of the tackle management, you know, systematically on the edges, handled everything thrown at them. So again, there wasn't much between them, and it's come down to the last play of the game essentially that's determined the outcome of the game, and ultimately it's an error which has given the field position and the opportunity, and Jake Chorrocks has took advantage of that. And I'm sure that's what will be said when when the Knights review that game is it's key errors and penalties at crucial times of the game has given the opposition the opportunity to potentially post points. And albeit we restricted them for large parts of that game, they've come up with the clutch play right on the death there, which is disappointing, you know. But equally, Toulouse will have the same reflection too. When they look at it, they'll probably say, listen, we did this really well, but we didn't do that so well. We invited York into some field position, and luckily our goal line defence held up there, but they could have been in a bit more bother too if our ball control had been a little bit better and were able to build a bit more pressure. So I think a draw today would have been a fair result, if I'm being brutally honest. Yep. I just think neither team, for me, had the ascendancy. Neither team had the better of one another. And I think, you know, the positives from our perspective this afternoon is that defensively it was a lot better than it was last week. I think there was a little bit more energy and effort and endeavour within the performance. It was never the conditions today that were going to allow you to fully express yourself and play fast and play wide. You know, it was just going to have to be that kind of real sort of direct approach, patient approach, and it was never going to be a high-scoring game in the conditions today.
Yeah. Andrew Henderson, brilliant alongside me today, Endo. Thank you for your input. And I did, because of all that excitement in the last 5 minutes, never got a chance to ask you who you thought possibly the men of the match were, but from a Knight's point of view.
Oh, wow. That's, wow. Where do you...
I'm sorry to throw it at you.
Yeah,
like
I know.
that,
it's a tough one, isn't it? I mean...
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's a real tough one to pick today. I think for me, there was no standout player. I mean... You know, I thought Will Dagger had some good involvements today.
Yep.
You know, positionally, did some big things. Wow, that's a tough one.
Yeah, I think you're probably not far away with Will Dagger.
I was going to say, probably Will Dagger, to be honest.
Yeah, some disappointed looking faces from the Knights as they come back towards the fans on the near side. Connor Fitzsimmons limping very, very heavily, and he's got his boot off. And it looks like a right angle injury for Connor Fitzsimmons. That's not looking good. Players in conversation out there.
Damn.
It was that little bit of magic from Ollie Ashall-Bott and that little error. Unfortunate for Levi Edwards, but that provided the opportunity for Jake Shorrocks to get that drop goal. It was 58. It was 2-0 at half-time, 58 minutes when Levi Edwards got in at the left corner from Atingano's cut-out pass after an error by Paul Ulberg from a kick through by the Knights. The Knights led 6-0 at that point. Hendo and I thought they had an opportunity then to pop the drop goal over in the next attack. They didn't take it. On 68 minutes, Toulouse were able to respond, and it was Benjamin Laguerre who had a good game for Toulouse. He cut back from the right side after Will Dagger's error, mishandling from Ollie Ashall-Bott's pass. He went in on the right side of the sticks. Jake Shorrocks converted. Nip and tuck right at the end there, but just Toulouse got possession, came downfield. Ollie Ashall-Bott put the little grubber kick in, and on his own 10-metre line, Levi Edwards' ball just pinged off his fingers. And from there, they set the scrum up, Toulouse, and Jake Shorrocks got the winning point. 7 points to 6. Once again, Endo, thanks for being with me. Brilliant to have you alongside.
No, it's been great. I've enjoyed it.
You'll have another spare Sunday before the end of the season.
Yeah, for sure, mate. You know, I'll look after me mates.
Thank you very much. Andrew Henderson. And with that, I said one of the two teams that were favourites for the playoffs would end up with a 0 in the points column at the end of today. And unfortunately, it is the York Knights. It's finished down here at the LNER in the Rugby League Championship. York Knights 6, Toulouse Olympique 7. With that, we'll have some response from Mark Applegarth, possibly before we go out of the programme, but I'll hand you back to James Hogarth in the studio.